I would like to talk a little bit more on a higher level about this idea of like NGO versus for-profit company, that sort of thing. Because, like I said, I'm extremely uneducated in this area. But what I've heard or seen before we talked is that very often the cliche would be that somebody from the Western world goes to Africa, plants I don't know, some water supply somewhere and says, yay, we did something great. But then there's also increasingly, I talked to another person who told me that's not sustainable because it's just, giving rather than, I mean, giving is also a nice thing to do, but it's not sustainable because it cannot, renew itself. It always needs to be somebody else just giving it. And so I guess what I'm trying to ask is, what kind of benefits do you see in really trying to build this for-profit company versus an NGO, not-for-profit institution to do something like this? I guess this was a very complicated way of putting it, but I hope
Yeah, I
my
guess
question
I get your
makes sense.
question. So I don't believe in helping someone who doesn't ask for help because
Mm-hmm.
it's a very superior, almost narcissistic perspective then. Like, okay, I'm better than you, I'm more educated than you, I have more money than you, and now I
Mm-hmm.
can offer you help.
Mm-hmm.
But this, why should a street child? Okay, let's put it this way. I always said, okay, if a street child who managed to survive on the streets from Nairobi at an age of 5 years, why? And is this person is still alive at the age of 25? Does such a person really need help? No. This person could
No.
actually help you to manage life because,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not about helping people. It was, for me, it was always about changing something, f- create something cool, something fun that benefits both of us, them and me, myself, and changing something that it creates more value and it becomes more sustainable and more constructive. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But they've
Yeah, I
never
think that's a
asked me
nice way
for
to explain
help.
it. Mm-hmm. I think that that's a really good point, and there's a thin line, I guess, but there is a very clear difference between helping by giving or helping by let's create something like you said, fun and mutually beneficial together. There's a big difference,
Exactly.
thin line, but big difference.
But also, I'm not saying it counts for every situation and every person. I mean, there are people who need help, but then it's
Mm-hmm.
obvious. I'm just saying I
Mm-hmm.
would never go to a place that works in itself and try to change something by not asking the people first, or at least make, yeah, I'm call myself just the catalyzer, the facilitator, or the one who changed the perspective. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I think that
But
makes
they
sense. That
created
makes
it
sense.
and they can decide by themselves what they are going to do with this new input.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked now for Nainami. I'm not saying it will always work in other environments. Yes.
I think that makes perfect sense, and um, I find it interesting because I've heard this. I'm not shaming or anything anyone who wants to just give because they love giving. Absolutely not. It's incredible. If you can, if you have the resources, do something nice with it for sure. But I had this conversation, like I said, with one other person before who told me that he was looking for something more than that, something more sustainable. So it really reminded me of you when we spoke. Like this fits really nicely together, and um, it's a very different kind of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, because it also, imagine, put yourself into their shoes. it's their business. They own it now. They take full responsibility. They are the service providers, and this is the real impact. It improves their self identity. It improves their self esteem and everything. And this can only happen when they are able to create value. Otherwise, they would still be in this begging mode as they used to be on
Mm-hmm.
the streets. So I take what I can get. And now
Mm-hmm.
it changed. Like I offer something and people value my offer by giving me money for this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is on a psychological level much deeper. So I'm not interested in this is I'm just saying this is not me. I'm not interested in helping people offering help. I'm more interested in helping people by changing their mindset and changing their self identity, self concept in a
I think
positive
that's
way.
amazing. Yes. No, absolutely. And like you said, that's a much deeper way of doing it and also a much more sustainable way of doing it. Because I think you mentioned before that this business is also a way for them to give back and to inspire others. I think actually one of the trailers that I watched on YouTube also said inspire them and be inspired. So it goes in both directions. And you also explained to me that for them it's very important to inspire other street children, current street children, and to show them that there's something different that can work as well. There are options. There is a future, and that's true impact.
Yes, now they have become role models themselves to other street children and to other youth um, because they are well known and we have guides. They used to be really hardcore criminals and they changed within 2 weeks and they've never gone back to crime anymore. And other that other people see this like other street children and it inspires also them. And the guides are also supporting them like they are also trying to help them to change their life now so they are giving back